Hello everybody, DevilDrive572 here, and welcome to World End Economica. Now, this one is just they say episode 1 of a few. It's a linear story, so I'm currently just hyped up for the release of 3 and feel that I need to go back. I need to play through this. So, let's go through these together, shall we? Choosing. In the past, people really believed that there was a doorway to an alternate world on the dark side of the moon. Oh? This dark side could not be seen from Earth. It was only a few decades ago that images were successfully taken of it, as Earth had been visited, mapped, and divested of all its mysteries and secrets. It was made painfully clear that there were no rabbits on the moon, no traces of aliens, and certainly no pieces of portals to alternate worlds. And I just gotta say, damn this artwork! Holy freaking shit! My mind is blown already by how detailed this is. Like, do you know how zoomed in you can get and still get so much detail? My gosh! Admittedly, I think this was probably done in multiple portions and taken forever. I mean, look at all of these. I think they're solar panels. My gosh! And look, it's freaking Earth! This was perhaps why the journey to the dark side of the moon through the vastness of space was so fascinating for me when my parents took me there as a kid. Mankind had never set foot upon any of the glittering stars that were arrayed before me. And I realized that. I felt a desire to leave my footprints where no one had gone before. It wasn't until after I learned more about the world that it dawned on me what a foolhardy dream that was. Regardless, it was something that shook to the core. I'm guessing shook me to the core so much that I nearly wet my pants. Jeez. Afterwards, everything before me became a stepping stone in my mind, towards my dream of setting foot where no one had gone before. I had no time to waste. If I didn't act now, then someone else would leave their footprints there first. Faster, faster, much faster. The population continued to grow, and time ruthlessly slipped away. Only a handful could be the vanguard of it all. Not a day went by where I didn't ponder what I could see. It would be a new frontier where familiar places, customs, and the past would not exist. A frontier where every small movement I made would become a part of history. I'm curious about that. Footprints of the first humans on the moon could still be found preserved in the Sea of Tranquility Memorial Hall. Those footprints told uncountable tales, Footprints left in the sand, measuring just shy of 30 inches. You mean the sand on the moon? Even so, they were amazing footprints that sent shivers down my spine. With a click, my mobile PC turned on. I awoke to the whirring of the hard drive. Since I had fallen asleep, curled up in my chair, clutching my PC, it was difficult to get my body to move. My body felt so stiff, I was sure that careless motion would break something. Ugh. Yep, stiff joints would probably be that way. Even so, I rather enjoyed the sensation of slowly stretching out my limbs from this cramped position after waking up. It made me feel alive and truly let me know that I was awake. I willed my arms to move, then my legs. Although hardly efficient, this was how I chose to do things, and was what happened when I woke up every morning. It was a satisfying reaction, and one I'd never had a chance to savor before I left home. On top of the table, I had left my rather crude diode lamp on, and a coarse layer of fat had formed on the surface of the leftover coffee in my dirty cup. Beside my cup was a half-eaten chocolate bar, which I reached for and crammed into my mouth. Oh jeez. I swallowed the unpleasantly sweet chunk as the PC finished booting up. At that moment, my brain went to work as I verified that I had my wallet, memory cards, and bag on me, and that none of it had been stolen while I was asleep. Whoa, wait. Left home, stolen while I was asleep, cramped position. Are we in some sort of internet cafe or whatever? And run from home? It appeared that I had survived the previous night. Only then did I breathe a sigh of relief. However, in order for me to survive today, I would have to make some money. Well, yes. In general, you would have to make money. It had been 3 months and 12 days since I left home. Wow! Telling myself that I wasn't just some well-to-do kid pretending to be a ruffian, I flipped open the organic display. Organic display? Wow, does this... I was staying in a cheap net cafe. It was a good-for-nothing establishment that leached Wi-Fi from another shop, and its customers were of equally questionable quality. Yeesh. Oh. Well. Hello there, sir. Hey, kid. Fine morning. No. Nah. Hey, kid. Fine morning, is it? As I left the booth to go wash my face, an unkempt clerk greeted me as he played a game at the counter. I figured he wasn't so much being friendly as much as he was making sure I knew he was watching me. The only entrance and exit were next to the counter, and off to the side of the wall were the words, "Everyone pays, no freeloaders." Even though this excuse for a building was built in a sewage canal, money was always collected. Built in a sewage canal? What? The only thing that concerned me when I left home was finding a place to sleep. Though I had some money, I couldn't really change my appearance. A fine morning? I'm not fond of your sarcasm, Earth Dog. Whoa, 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 hold the phone, Earth Dog! What the hell is with... Wow. The clerk's face twisted into a smile at my retort. Oh. It is unfortunate to not know what a real morning looks like, since the weather here is just a computer program. He said that lightly as he returned his gaze to his game. And... oh, that's the game. That's the system? Dang, it looks like a PSP, I guess. Something similar. He seemed to be from Earth, though I wondered if he came to the moon as unskilled labor, got fired, and ended up here as an outcast of some sort. Why don't you head on back to Earth, then? At my words, he turned briefly to glance at me and laughed sarcastically. Things are a bit better here than down there, anyhow. That's how he responded. Moon scum. Ooh, damn! Without responding, I went to the washroom. What? My name's Yoshiharu. Hold on. Let me get this left. Kawaura. I was born and raised in this lunar city, so I was genuine moon scum. Damn! I returned to my booth, entered my password, and booted up the tool application on my computer. A welcome screen, whose only good point was its friendliness, was followed by a merciless and desolate landscape, much akin to the surface of the moon. Countless lines of words flickered on the screen. I imagine it's the kind of effect you'd get if you took a picture of the undeveloped part of the moon's surface with a low-res camera. The screen showed a session of the Lunar Stock Exchange. This kid is dealing with the stock exchange. What? This was the kind of place for moon scum like me to make a living. I'll get rich without needing to break a sweat. Damn! I didn't have enough time to earn an honest living. I took a deep breath and went about business. Oh. This is us? This is Yoshiharu Kawaura. And what is the BBC? Dang. Downward revision for the first fiscal quarter of CK Bio. Possibility of an investigation into Emerald Industries over suspicions of collusion. Regarding inflation, the board of directors at the Lunar Central Bank. With one eye on that stream of news, I focused on managing 220 stocks. 220 stocks? Wow, that's a lot! Picking up those with large price fluctuations. For instance, if one stock had moved 10% on the previous day, and another had moved 1%, there was probably a high chance that the stock that moved 10% could move by 1% today. I would trade it on that notion alone. Putting into consideration the mood of the market based on the news, I would buy stocks with large fluctuations. Within the turbulent up and down movement of the price, I could extract some profit, which is what I occupied myself with between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. lunar time. You know, that's about the same for plenty of places. Between those hours, the only things that went into my mouth were food that I could eat one-handed and drinks. To be honest, I'd be so engrossed in trading that breaks were uncommon. I wouldn't be surprised with that amount of stocks to deal with. Even if I had free time to take a break, I'd rather use it to look at my screen to grasp price fluctuations and do some trades. After all, the difference of a few minutes when making the call to buy or sell could easily mean the difference between gaining or losing 1 or 2%. You know, I feel that's true. My war chest was 72,000 moles. 72,000 moles. 1% of that came out to 700 moles. The store clerk here would make 7 moles an hour at best. This was a place where a public school teacher's monthly starting salary was 1,200 moles. So I could make in a few minutes what they'd make in a month. Holy mackerel! Of course, over the course of a day's trading, some people would win and others would lose. But I was on the winning streak of all streaks, and before I knew it, my seed money of 1,000 moles had ballooned to 72 times that. From 1,000 to 72,000, what the... Whoa. The one and only time I did honest hard labor in my life was to rebuild that seed money. Since then, I'd just been building my assets through these trades. While the gains were a little less than what they used to be, the greater your assets grew, the faster they grew. So it didn't worry me. It'd be what they'd call a snowball effect. I'd never seen snow before, but I'd seen videos of Earth before, and this I was familiar with it. I had decided that I was going to make even more money, and then live in the center of this lunar city. So, born and raised on the moon. Completely in touch with the stock market. What kind of an evil genius is this child? It's a place where tons of ridiculously smart people were gathered. It's said that 70% of this world's wealth was held by the people there. I'd live it up there, and then... The back of my head was high on these kinds of delusions as I performed trade after trade like a man possessed. That's why it took me a while to notice. I finally did after I got smacked on the head. Oof, that hurt. Yo, kid. I turned around to see that clerk from before standing in front of the booth's open door. What, you want money? Since when did this place become prepay? Or what? Was it something else? Was making money not allowed here? What do you want? I'm busy. As I glared at him, the overly skinny, bleary-eyed clerk let out a tired sigh. That's your reply? I came to tell you that the police are on their way to gather up street urchins, and... Before the clerk finished his sentence, my PC had been closed and thrown into my bag. Hey, wait! The employee grabbed my shoulder as I tried to push him aside and exit the booth. Though he was thin, he was still muscular, strong enough to remind you that he was an adult. Still, I always kept a set amount of money in my breast pocket for times like this. I grabbed it and thrust it into his hands. Keep the change. I put on my hat, shouldered my bag, and ran down a narrow corridor. Wondering what was going on in the booth, a bunch of guys who looked like they'd just mumble useless replies to any police questioning peeked through the cracks from their booths, wondering if someone had been arrested. After sliding past the dirty counter, I made it to the store's even filthier exit. The chipped away paint and rust made the already cramped building feel even more claustrophobic. And that is totally a root growing out of there. Wow, is this place run down? You could already see it. I ran straight down the hallway towards the open air. Okay, I noticed they said something about a hat. Where's the hat? I don't even know. There were stairs, as if I turned left at the end of the hall. But I had never had any plans to use them in the first place. Without a moment's hesitation, I kicked off the floor, jumping as high as I could. Passing over the concrete wall, my body flew out over the street. Dang, that gravity difference, man. Because the cafe was on the 5th floor of the building, there was a heck of a view below me. I jumped towards the wall of the building opposite me, then kicked off from that wall, aiming back towards the wall of the first building. Once the sole of my foot hit the pipe on the wall, I jumped straight up with all of my strength and resolve. Dang! Human genes had been fine-tuned for living on Earth over millions of years. So with some weight training, anyone could perform feats like these on the moon, where the gravity was lower. Well, that's kind of true. What you couldn't do was to allow yourself to miss your daily training. Jumping from wall to wall, I quickly reached the 14th floor of the building next door. 14th floor? What? I guess my heart rate did go up a bit. I glanced down to see a pair of blue uniformed policemen looking bored as they tapped their batons on their shoulders and climbed the stairs. It seemed that the clerk wasn't playing a prank on me when he gave me that tip. I already paid my thanks to him when I handed him that money, though. By now, he should probably have already used the change from it to kick back with a store-bought beer. For a moment, I opened my bag in the hallway and flipped open my PC screen. I ran off in the middle of a trade, and so my position hadn't changed. I should be able to get at least a weak wireless connection out here. If I were lucky, prices would have risen and I'd be home free. But usually, at times like this... figures. After hanging my head in disappointment, I closed out my losing positions and called it a day. Dang. Well, I think this is a good point to leave off. So, I hope you all enjoy. Leave a like if you did. And, until next time, keep rad.